And I don't know if they'll start, they're supposed to start coming on as soon as I have started that. Yep, they're starting to come on there. So all right. Good evening, everyone. And my name is Trish, and I am your facilitator for this evening. And so we wanted to let you know a few housekeeping things. So how do I ask questions? You use the Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time. Just wanted to make sure you understood that your camera and your microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists from Missouri Western cannot see or hear you. So just so you understand that. Also, just to let you know, there are several other sessions through October the 8th that if you want to check on the MissouriACAC.org website, you can still sign up for other presentations. So check out that schedule. Also, this session will be recorded this evening. So if you know of anyone else that you think might want to do this session and look at it, then please do that, and just to let them know. So I am going to try to get off the share session or share screen. I think it's off. Did you even see it? You guys, did you see the share? Is it still up? No? Okay.
It is not up. I think that you have successfully unshared.
Yes. So this is Missouri Western. These are your panelists from there, and they will take it away.
Hello, I'm Roberta Foster from the Missouri Western State University. I am an admissions counselor here. Our numbers here at Missouri Western, these numbers are from this past school year. Our university was founded in 1915 when we were St. Joseph's Junior College. Our undergrad full-time enrollment is 4,000 students, but when you include our part-time students, which many of our locals are part-time, we're over 5,000 total enrollment. We have 89% of our courses have 30 or fewer students in them. Now, if you take a class, let's say a freshman course, like a biology course or a psychology course, your largest enrollment might be about 60 students in that particular class. But as you get closer to your major, the classroom sizes tend to get smaller. Our students come from 38 states and 30 countries represented. We have 70 plus majors and minor programs. 91% of our faculty hold the highest degree awarded in their fields, and 93% of our incoming freshmen receive grants and or scholarships. St. Joseph, Missouri. Our population in St. Joseph is around 76,000 residents. We're 45 minutes from the Kansas City area. We have a vibrant downtown scene, which it has something for everyone there. We're 35 minutes from the MCI International Airport, which is in the North Kansas City area. We also have 100 plus locally owned franchises and restaurants. Also, there are 13 different museums here in St. Joseph. So if you are interested in also like the arts, fine arts and theater, we have the Rubudu Residence Theater, we have the St. Joseph Symphony. Also, there's a 26-mile parkway system here in the St. Joseph area that runs throughout the city, beautiful green spaces. We also have world-class boutique coffee shops, and our Missouri Western State University students enjoy free public transportation. Now, if you can't make it home on the weekends, you'll be fine. We have a lot of the same national franchises you have in your cities. Also, like what would include Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens. We also have, I'm trying to think, your TJ Maxx, Kohl's, Old Navy stores, but also when it comes to park and recreation facilities, we are 1 hour from the Kansas City Zoo and about 2 hours from the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, Nebraska. These are just a few things that separates Missouri Western from other colleges and universities in the state of Missouri. We have a Center for Service, which offers free credits towards students' degrees. So students can earn up to 3 free credits for volunteering up to 120 service hours. We are a service community. We introduce our students to service learning during their freshman orientation program, which is the Griffon Edge, and we average over 120,000 hours annually. The professors at Missouri Western who teach your courses are also the advisors in your major. So there are no TAs and no grad assistants. And your professor is also your academic advisor. We are a teaching first institute. Our faculty conduct research, but their primary role is to teach. Our focus is on providing quality undergraduate education for all of our students. And our student-teacher ratio is 17:1. Now I'm going to hand it over to one of our professors, Dr. Joshua Knight. Take it away.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dr. Joshua Knight, as she said, and I teach in the School of Fine Arts. And I want to start by following up on a couple of the things that she just mentioned. And that is, number one, that we are focused on teaching undergraduate students. And you might think, well, aren't all universities focused on that? Not necessarily. A lot of universities, larger universities and even smaller universities have a large graduate population, and they're focused on those graduates, and those graduates can play a huge role in your classroom experience. I attended universities where oftentimes graduate assistants would teach the course and they would do some of the grading for the course, so that I wasn't always getting the feedback from my professor. And that is very, very common. You're not going to have that at Missouri Western. My courses that I teach and all of my colleagues, we are focused on you. We're going to be giving you the feedback. We're going to be planning our courses and our lesson plans. So the fact that we're focused on undergraduates first, that's going to mean that you have a really, really high quality experience here. Small class sizes, again, professors are going to know your names. I know all of my students' names. I see them in the hallway. I mentor them. I encourage them. So that really is the difference, number one. So we're excited about some things here at Missouri Western. Very new for this year is something called Gold Fridays. So what is Gold Fridays? Well, when you think of gold, you think of something that's very valuable. And what we've done is we've decided to make Fridays as valuable for you as we can. So our classes meet only from Monday through Thursday. We don't have any courses that meet on Fridays. And that means that it's open for you to do what you want. These can be personal things. You can, drive back to, if you live out 50 miles away or further, you could definitely go home on Fridays and take care of some personal things or visit family. You could choose that Friday to meet with friends and being engaged with some student life things. You could choose that time to complete homework assignments, to go to the library, to do some leisurely activities, or to be engaged in something we call applied learning. So what is applied learning? Applied learning is sort of a fancy way of saying hands-on experience. And the best analogy that I could come up with is when we're trying to get our driver's license. We all study, written text. We have to pass a written exam to get our driver's licenses. And that's kind of like being in the classroom, right? But then you also have a permit and you're able to drive your parents' or friend's car. And that is hands-on experience. When you're actually driving and you're putting the things that you've read to work, you're contextualizing those things. That's applied learning, and that's what we're focused on here. We are state mandated to be the applied learning institution in Missouri. And so all of your instructors are planning things that you can do to get more real world experiences. That means our majors have internships, research projects, leadership opportunities, and all kinds of really cool things that are going to give you the hands-on experience you need to be successful from day one once you leave Missouri Western. Of course, that's my goal and my colleagues' goals as well. So on the next screen, you're going to see that we offer over 70 major and minor programs. So there's a degree for everyone. And the cool thing is you don't have to decide on one of those degrees right away. You can take up to about 60 credit hours. That's equal to about 2 years of study before you have to really decide on a major, so that you can use that time to sort of, think about it, deliberate, visit with your professors and with your parents and things of that nature. But of course, we really encourage you, as a professor, I encourage all of my students to be thinking about what they love to do, what they're passionate about, and be thinking about those degree options from the very beginning, but you don't have to sign on the dotted line for quite some time. We also have a lot of free resources for our students to make sure that you're successful. That includes free tutoring. Our faculty are also advisors, so they will help you make your class schedule and figure out what courses you need and if you're on the correct path to graduating on time and all of those things. So the faculty are engaged in that sort of stuff. And remember that we do accept AP and CLEP coursework as well. So if there's one thing, and on this next screen, you see the list of majors. So if there's one thing I want to say, and I know that you guys can have some questions while I'm speaking, and we're going to answer some of your questions at the end. But the difference here at Missouri Western is that faculty are engaged in mentoring undergraduate students. You are our focus. We're not focused on research number one, teaching number two, which is really common at a lot of universities, especially larger schools. We're focused on teaching. That's why I'm here today, because we're passionate about our current students and we're passionate about our prospective students. So now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to my awesome colleague, Ben, who's going to talk about things beyond the classroom.
All right, thank you, Josh. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ben Rops, and I'm the transfer coordinator here at Missouri Western, and I get to talk to you about the fun stuff and getting involved on campus as a student here. First thing is that we always encourage our students in finding kind of the academic life, your extracurricular life, finding kind of a balance between that as a college student. And so a number of different ways that we do that, and I'll talk about those here in a moment. We do have a lot of student-run organizations here on campus, wide variety of those. We also offer 20 intramural sports throughout each year, basically 3 to 5 each fall, winter, and then again, of course, in the spring. We've also added a new esports program here at Missouri Western. It's brand new, and so we're very excited about the students and involvement that we have with our new esports program. Also, Greek life, we have a number of fraternities and sororities that are available to students here. Honors programs, international activities. You can visit different countries and study in different countries throughout your time at Missouri Western. Also, a lot of special interest groups and even religious affiliated groups that we have. And then I also like to point out is that if you're a student here and you don't have a club or an organization that you see or you want to become involved in one that we don't have, basically if you get yourself and 4 other students to support you, you can start that club or organization here. And the other thing is that oftentimes I know as college students now, working full-time is something that's pretty important to students. And so we have a number of on-campus employment opportunities for our students to take advantage of as well. I also want to talk with you about Division II athletics. And of course, Missouri Western, we are part of a conference called the MIAA. You can see all the sports that we have to offer, both the men's and women's side. We do have a few new sports that we've added the past 3 years. Those includes our men's and women's indoor and outdoor track team, men's and women's cross country. We've just added women's lacrosse this past year. And as I mentioned already, we've just started our new esports program here at Missouri Western as well. I also want to point out that all of our students, if you are competing on one of our teams or you're just a student here, we automatically get enrolled in something called the MAX experience. And that pertains to getting into all of our home events for free, as well as for immediate family members. We also take a number of away type trips, fan bus type type trips on certain weekends with kind of those high profile games. And then, of course, the best thing about being involved in the MAX experience is that you do get free concession during any of our home events. And so as long as you bring your student ID with you, you can go up to the concession stand and get a free pop and a hot dog. You can do that as many times as you want. So kind of nice to have that as well. Next, I want to talk with you about some of our attractions and services that we have available to you as a student here at Missouri Western. Number of free rec facilities, and so a number of course, ways to kind of help ease your transition and kind of creating that balance between your academic and your social life and extracurricular. We have a big campus here at Missouri Western. It's a 765-acre campus, and roughly about 2/5 of that make up kind of the physical part of campus. And so there are a number of walking trails. We have 9 ponds throughout our campus. We've also just renovated what's called the Thomas Eagleton Indoor Swimming Complex. We have a swimming pool here where you can take advantage of open hours. We also offer things like scuba diving classes and swim classes. We also have a free fitness center here called the Baker Family Fitness Center. Basically kind of your campus YMCA, open up at 5 a.m. and close at 10 o'clock at night. So you can use those resources if you'd like. We're also very proud to say that we're the summer home of the Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, we didn't have them this year, of course, due to COVID, but we've got them for at least another 2 years. And then we hope to kind of retain them for years after that. We also have the Bushman Planetarium here, 2 18-hole Frisbee golf courses. We also have something called the Esery Health Center, which is a free health center here on campus. We have 2 full-time nurse practitioners available to students. And then lastly, we have something called the Center for Academic Support, which is a free tutoring service for our students. And so whether you're taking a 100-level entry-level college class or you're taking a 600-level math or master's class, we have tutors available for any level, any subject, wherever you're at in your kind of college journey. If you need some extra help, you can of course utilize that facility. And lastly, you guys, I want to go over just some things as far as residential life goes. Of course, the first thing to mention is that we have kind of this policy or rule of 50, and that pertains to students that live beyond 50 miles. There is a 1-year housing requirement here at Missouri Western. After that first year, if you want to move off campus, you are more than welcome to do that. I was a student that went to college for 5 years. I was a student athlete, and so I redshirted my first year. I had a 3-year on-campus experience, and that was absolutely great for me. And then I moved off campus those last 2 years. And so whether you want to move on campus right away and stay for all 4 years, or if you're kind of ready to move off campus after that first or second year, you do have those options available to you. As far as res halls that we have available on campus, we have 6 to choose from. Scanlon, Leverton, and Vaslakos halls are the res halls that are available to freshman students. We have, of course, many other ages that live within those residence halls, but freshmen, you have Scanlon, Leverton, and Vaslakos. We did put up just a blueprint of what Scanlon Hall looks like, and that's where roughly about 80 to 90% of our freshman class lives. Basically a large square room that's divided in 2, where you and a roommate would be on one side, and then you do have 2 other roommates on the other. The 2 other facilities in Leverton and Vaslakos, very similar in room design as Scanlon Hall, with the exception of that there's kind of a living room area within those 2 buildings versus Scanlon Hall just doesn't have that. So, but very comfortable. All of our residence halls, the nice thing is that we do not have communal restrooms. Basically, the most you will ever share a restroom with is just 3 other students. And once you get past kind of the freshman year res halls, that actually shrinks to just 1 other student. So very comfortable, helps tremendously with that all important bathroom space and that sort of thing. And so once you kind of get past that freshman year, it's just 1 other student that you're sharing a restroom with. Some other things is that we do have, we provide free Wi-Fi and cable to any student living on campus. We also, of course, allow you to bring a car here to campus. You can park really wherever you want, and it's free to park here at Missouri Western. And the nice thing is that we don't have parking issues. We have lots of spaces, no issues whatsoever for our students finding a particular spot on campus. Parking is plentiful, to say the least. And so we also have a very safe campus here at Missouri Western. We have a university police department. We have a number of security measures in place. We've just put in a new lighting system within the past 3 years. And so some of those darker areas that were throughout our campus in previous years are much better lit now. We have walking chaperones, that type of stuff during the evening hours if you don't feel comfortable walking from A to B. All of our res halls do require you to have a key to get in. And then we also have a key for the room you're in, and then of course the room within inside the room that you're in, if that makes sense. And so very safe here. We also have RAs that take care of issues within the res halls, and so students are being loud during the evening hours. They come down and take care of those issues. And then lastly, I want to mention is that your food costs are included in your res hall fees. We have, of course, our cafeteria here, and you would have the option of choosing the 10 meal plan all the way up to 21 meals, and that's what's called our all access. And then also included in your meal plan is something called flex money. And basically any eatery location outside the cafeteria, you can use your flex money towards those purchases. And so I'm very excited that we've just added Chick-fil-A here at Missouri Western the past couple years. And so what's nice is if you're on a meal plan and you have some flex money on your account, you never have to pay cash. You can go up, they'll swipe your student ID. And then of course, in addition to our Chick-fil-A, we've just added Starbucks here this past year. We also have Subway, and then of course, a number of other breakfast and eatery locations. And so I am gonna turn it over to Peggy, and she's gonna visit with you about costs and scholarships.
You need to unmute Peggy.
Unmute you, Peggy.
Goodness, it would be me that does that. My name's Peggy. I'm the recruitment manager here at Missouri Western, and I want to take a few minutes here to talk to you about cost and then talk to you about how we offset the cost. And as you're looking at these figures, just keep in mind what Roberta said on that first slide. 93% of our freshmen do receive some form of financial aid, whether it's in the form of Pell Grant, work study loans, or scholarships. And so don't let have sticker shock when you look at this. And I will tell you, most all of our students take 15 credit hours each semester. And so the yearly total when we're talking is always 30 credit hours for the year. And so you'll see here in-state students and then what we call Griffon rate students, which are states, there's 13 states besides Missouri that get in-state tuition. For those students, it's $7,500, and that's just for your classes. Ben mentioned the Center for Academic Support. He mentioned the rec facilities, Max experience. All of that stuff is included in your tuition fees, okay? So you don't have to pay a membership fee to use any of the rec facilities that Ben mentioned, which I think is pretty cool. So when we talk about out of state, then that cost does go up to $14,500. And then when we add room and board on top of it, and again, Ben mentioned Scanlon Hall and the 21 meal all access, that's what we use in this. So for an in-state student or a Griffon rate student, the cost is going to be around $16,400. An out-of-state student will pay around $23,500. Okay, and so now we will talk about some of the ways we offset that cost. And we have here what we call a Griffon Guarantee Scholarship. And the scholarship is, I'm going to say, truly unique in two ways. First of all, it's a scholarship that grows. I'm going to say every year. This is where that 15 hours or the 30 hours comes in play, because you'll see after 30 hours, whatever award you receive initially is going to grow by $1,000. Your junior year, it's going to grow by basically $1,500. And then by the time you're a senior or that 90 hours, you get an additional $2,000. Okay, so it grows every year, but it also is renewable as long as you have a 2.0 grade point average. And we love that here just because sometimes you have a rough semester. Either you're adjusting to going to college or you're just in some really tough classes. And if you have a scholarship that requires a 3.5 or a 3.25 to get the next year, a lot of our students might lose that. And so this guarantee part of it, I love because you can count on it every single year you're here. The next thing we do, we have gone to what we call test optional, meaning if you haven't had a chance to take the ACT or you're not happy with your score, it's not going to hinder your chances to be admitted and then also to receive scholarships. It will help if you have an ACT score, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. But our base scholarships, we do look just at your GPA. And as long as you have a 3.0 or higher, you will receive some form of a scholarship. You'll see they bump up it starts at 500, and then it goes up in increments clear up to 3,500. You'll see we'll use this 1,000. If that 1,000 was just renewed every year at 1,000, the 4-year total would just be 4,000. With the growth, that 4-year total for that 1,000 becomes 8,500. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And also I need to say that this is weighted GPA. So we give you a little more advantage by using weighted GPA with these. Now, if you have taken the ACT, we use the ACT as long as you have a 20 or higher, you're going to get $100 bumps for each point. So 20 gives you $100 more, 21, $200 more, clear on up. And so if we look at this $1,000 amount again, if we're looking at a student who maybe has a 24 on the ACT, that 1,000 now becomes 1,500. And you'll just see that throughout here. We do super score ACT. So if you're in a situation where you're just really not happy with your score, take it again. And then take it again and again, however many times you want to. We're going to look at every single test score you take, and we're going to find your highest English. We're going to find your highest math, your highest science, and your highest reading, even though every single one of them may be on a different test. And we'll combine those in together to come up with a super score, and we use that super score for scholarship purposes. So I wanted to mention that, and in kind of the same way with A+, there's a couple of things going on with A+. First of all, Roberta mentioned the Center for Service, where you get credit hours for simply doing community service. We do recognize A+ as the first 40 credit hours towards 1 credit hour of service. So when you come here, if you've done A+ in high school, you will already have 1 credit hour of service awarded to you. And then the other thing we do, again, with starting with the 20 and in 1-point increments, will increase your scholarship by $50. So again, that, what did I use earlier? The 24, I can't remember what I actually used. I think I used this one right here. That now bumps up to a 24 with the initial 1,000 with the A+ bump and the ACT bump. That dollar amount's now $1,750. So just wanted to mention that. And then we do have a slide here that sort of shows it in a little more detail because it's a little hard to see it all. If we have Joe Jones here, and Joe has a 3.6 GPA, which base scholarship gives him $1,500. With that 24 ACT, he gets a bump of 500. And then also with the Missouri A+, he gets a bump of 250 more because he had that 24 ACT. So his initial award his first year is $2,250, and then you can see how it grows across the screen. And then we have Jill, who super high GPA, a 3.9, great ACT 29. You'll see, so 2,500 base, an additional 1,000 because of that ACT. And she's awarded initially 3,500. She didn't do A+. And you'll see again how that 3,500 will grow over the 4 years. So I wanted to mention that. I am going to go to one more screen. I'm going to talk off of it. You can apply for admission anytime you want to. We are test optional, like I mentioned. We don't require an essay, and it is free to apply. If you do want to send us your ACT scores, our code is 2344. The financial aid application and our competitive scholarship application. Competitive scholarships you can get above and beyond what we award you with the Griffon Guarantee by applying for competitive scholarships. Those both open October 1. The competitive scholarship is due by February 1st. Okay, and then it goes out based on the information you've provided. It goes out to committees for them to make their mind up with who's going to receive the scholarships. Now, one thing, I'm checking my time here. One thing I do want to mention just a little bit here is campus visits. And the reason I'm mentioning it is colleges are all over the place of whether they're doing in-person campus visits or virtual campus visits. And I want you to know that we are open for in-person campus visits Monday through Friday. We do them at 9:30 and 1:30. And so we do keep it as safe as we can, meaning we allow only 12 people here at a time. We do require masks, and we'll provide students that come to visit a cute little Griffon mask that you can wear if you can see it here. And of course, parents provide their own, but you'll get a campus tour. You can talk to faculty just like Dr. Knight or someone interested in that's in your field of interest. We do also have virtual visits if you prefer that. Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we do virtual visits. And we do have a big virtual visit day coming up on October 3rd. And that day is just very simply a day for you to log in, talk to professors, have a virtual tour, talk to us. Just a good day for you to get a good feel for what Missouri Western is like. And so I think that wraps up what we have to say, unless any of the other panelists have last minute thoughts.
No, ask us your questions, though. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Have you guys been monitoring questions while I was talking?
Unshare your screen, Peggy.
Okay.
That might reveal if someone has asked some questions. We'll answer your questions live. So if you'd like to.
Let me get out of this slideshow first so I can do that.
While she's doing that, I definitely want to encourage everyone to visit campus, really walking through campus, getting a sense of what it's like here at Missouri Western, walking through, you know, if you're interested in business or nursing or music, you know, we'll take you to that building. We'll introduce you to a faculty member in that area. And so it really gives you a great sense of what it would be like here. But I think as a faculty member, again, the biggest difference is that we're a small enough institution that we care about all of our students individually and we mentor them. But we're a large enough institution that we have some of the strongest accredited programs in the area with lots of wonderful student resources, both academically and just on the residential life side as well. If you live, especially if you live within 50 miles of Missouri Western, of St. Joseph, definitely just want to drive up any day and visit our campus. The cost, as Peggy mentioned to you, you know, it's tough sometimes to see what college does cost, but it's definitely worth noting that we are one of the most inexpensive universities in our region. You know, that's what you're going to find across the board. But again, if you live close enough, there's really no reason that you shouldn't put Missouri Western at the top of your list for sure. No questions? I know I can't see any on my screen, Peggy. I just
I do have one. There's one. Do we
Okay.
offer anything like forensics? And yes, we do have criminal justice as the undergrad bachelor's degree, and then we have a master's in forensic science, forensic investigations. And then here's one. What intramural sports do you have available?
Sure.
Oh, Ben, you take that one.
Yeah, we have a lot. Basically each athletic season, so the fall and then the winter, and then again, of course, in the spring, it's pretty consistent and kind of the echoes that time of the year. And so typically in the fall, we do like a flag football, we'll do volleyball. The winter time will be basketball. And then we do some stuff like with the Thomas Eagleton Indoor Swimming Complex. We do a number of things, just kind of like casual intramural sports as well. So we'll have poker tournaments, we'll have dodgeball, we'll have just kind of those rec type intramural sports. And then the spring, of course, we have baseball and softball, and they do some things with our track and cross country program as well. And so I would reference you guys to, we have a really good resource through the Missouri Western website. If you go to the Student Affairs website, you can kind of see all of the different sports that we have to offer, and then the times of the year that we have to offer them as well. But it's a great program. The one thing is we have tremendous involvement with intramural sports, and so it does get pretty competitive, which I think is pretty cool. And so it's a great thing to take advantage of as a student here at Western.
Okay, we have one here. And Josh, this will be one for you. Do you have something for an upright string bass player?
Yeah. Yes, I'm unmuted. Good. Yes, we do. We have a string bass teacher here, and he is phenomenal. He's probably one of the premier. He's in the Kansas City Jazz Orchestra and is a really wonderful upright bass player. So you would take a private lesson. It's a class, but it's essentially a private lesson that you would take with him 1 day per week, and you could take a 30-minute lesson or a 1-hour lesson. And you could be involved that way just to work on your, double bass playing skills. And we also have 3 jazz ensembles. We have a jazz combo. They take an upright bass player. The jazz ensembles occasionally will. The wind ensemble will oftentimes take an upright bass player in the classical style, of course, with a bow and that sort of thing. We also have the St. Joseph Symphony Orchestra, which oftentimes utilizes local talent, especially Missouri Western students. So yeah, if you love to play string bass, whether you're thinking about music as a career or not, there are tons of opportunities for you to play your bass and can keep doing that. So definitely you want to reach out to me. Again, you can just Google search music at Missouri Western, and you can reach out to one of us or just give a call. And I'd love to visit with you a little bit more about that. But yes, definitely come. We love string bass players.
Okay, I just typed an answer to one student regarding nursing. And yes, we do have a nursing program, a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. Very, very strong program for us. We've had it for 50 plus years. I can't remember exactly how long. And it's a nationally recognized program. We accept 60 students every fall semester, 60 every spring semester. It is competitive. But once our students get into the program, they do clinicals, literally a bunch here in St. Joe, but then we're so close to Kansas City, they can do KU Med, Liberty Hospital, Children's Mercy, North Kansas City Hospital, lots of different places they get hands-on experience. And now we've
job
got
placement rate with their nursing program too, to mention.
What's that?
100% job placement rate too.
Oh yeah,
once
right.
they graduate, which is awesome.
How could I forget that part? I'm going on to this next question here. So I was playing lacrosse, but then my family moved and I can no longer play. Is there still a way for me to play in college? And I'm going to say most definitely yes. If you go to our website, there is a gogriffons.com, or you can just go to gogriffons.com and it takes you to where you need to go to fill out a survey. And that survey will go directly to our coach, and they'll be in communication with you. We do have a lot of students that walk on. Even if you're not a recruited athlete, you can walk on. If you play hard and work hard, you can even get scholarships for the second year of doing that. And Ben, as a college athlete, could probably answer that maybe a little better than me.
You bet. Yeah, but I would encourage you to do is of course, go to our athletic website. And there is a questionnaire, as Peggy mentioned. I would also just send an email directly to like one of the assistant coaches. We have full-time assistants, and then we have our head coach, and then graduate assistants as well. Reach out to one of the assistant coaches and kind of let them know who you are, way to get a hold of you. And then, any accolades that you might have had in your time at college, or even when you were going through prior to college, that makes you, a recruitable person or someone that they would look into. But I know all of our coaches do a great job. They're very receptive to new contacts, and I know they'll reach out to you and visit with you about what we have going here. But we're definitely very excited about our athletic programs. We've got really good conference that we play in, tremendous support from our community, and that does include the institution. We've got some really good things going on here, so we're definitely excited about it.
Okay, anything else?
I thought there was a question about a master's degree question.
There was
Did
in
we answer
nursing.
that?
I answered it.
Oh, okay.
It was the same person wanting to know if she could do a master's degree after she completed the Bachelor of Science in nursing from here. And I said, yes, we actually have 3 different master's options in the nursing area. So most definitely you can stay here and go straight through and receive that master's. One's in business, one's a focus on education, and the other is a combo where you actually get your master's in nursing, but also a full MBA.
We have another question about how early if you're a sophomore in high school, how early when should you apply? How early is too early, Peggy?
Actually, we always, and like every college mostly does, July or August before your senior year, the applications will be ready for you. And so that's applying for admission. It's never too early to visit campus, nor is it ever too early to start thinking about college, just like you're obviously doing here, which I think is great. Because a lot of times senior year comes up and my goodness, you're so busy with trying to do everything you need to graduate and do this and do that, that it gets to be overwhelming if you haven't even started thinking about college. So good for you for starting early, but you won't apply until right before your senior year.
Yes, I'll answer the music major choir. Yeah, we have a fabulous vocal music program here at Missouri Western. Our choir director, her name is Dr. Elise Hepworth. The choir has been to state and national competitions lately. They tour. They perform concerts on campus and off campus. They're a really, really dynamic vocal group. So we actually have our large choir is called Concert Chorale, and that's kind of everyone. It's a large group. And then we have an auditioned group that we call Chamber Singers, and that's an even more wonderful group. And then we have an opera workshop. So we have a lot of opportunities if you're a vocalist to perform and sing, and you say you're not majoring in music, that's even better. I mean, I think that you can have a wonderful experience here at Missouri Western with music and not majoring in music. And you really couldn't get that at a lot of especially larger institutions. We have the flexibility. We work with your schedule. If you happen to have a lab or something like that, I know that I'm kind of on the band side, but my colleagues on the band side as well as on the choral side, we always work with students that have some class conflicts to make sure they can be engaged in the music ensembles. So yes, the short answer is yes. And I'm going to answer privately to you and just give you my email address as well if you'd like to ask me anything else. Looks like we have 1 minute and one more question. Yeah.
Question here, is there a way to get involved with you guys before then? And we do what we call Early College Academy, which is where you can take, basically they're classes you can take in your high school for college credit that we teach right in your high school. And depending on where you live, I don't know where you're from, but we do offer dual credit classes all around our area up here in the Northwest Missouri corner.
Thank you everyone again for joining us, by the way. I
Yes.
know we're almost out of time here.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all. I'm going to try to share this last slide with you. I think it's right there. Anyway, you will be getting, as participants tonight, you will be getting a short 4-question survey. Please do that for us and for Missouri Western. Strive, Scan, and they would like to know how you felt it went. And that's, like I said, this is all new to all of us, so we're still trying to navigate, but we appreciate your time. And thank you for joining us tonight. And Strive, Scan, and Missouri ACAC appreciate your time. Thank you very much and have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.